Be real. Be you. And if somebody doesn't like you, then so what? It doesn't matter what people think about you. It doesn't matter about the image that people think that they have of you in their mind. Everyone's perspective is a little bit different. Don't expect every single person to think of you in the same way. Because people like to judge you without even knowing your full story. You are only going to be the person that you define yourself to be. You cannot be something else that you're not. No matter how many times you try and act, you try and put on that mask to being somebody else, you're not that person. You're not a different beast. You're not a different person. You're only you and what you create yourself to be. Your brand, that's you. Your life, that's you. What you put into this world, that's you. The kindness, the generosity, that's all you. The negativity, that's also you. The sins, nobody gets to define your life. Nobody gets to define who you are, and nobody gets to say in how you're going to live your life. Don't let somebody control you, because they're not you. They don't get a say in how you move, in how you talk, in how you dress. You are only you, and to your fullest potential, you can be anything. But don't try and act as a different identity. Don't try and act as a different person because you want to act cool, because you want to fit in. You cannot be somebody else. You have to be yourself. A common phrase on social media, a common phrase in real life from your parents, from your friends, just be yourself. But is it really that simple? Being yourself is not that simple. Because when a person doesn't know their identity, when a person gets so consumed by the media, they don't know who they are. There are people on social media that are only posting to get the likes, to get the comments, to get the views, but they have lost who they are. They have lost the person that they've always been. Maybe that's one of their goals. Or maybe it's not. It's an unintended result. But why would somebody else want to watch your video if you're not being your authentic self? If you're not being your authentic self, then your brand is not you. Then that's not the truth of who you are. And that is a reality of depression, of anxiety, of overthinking, because what I said wasn't me yesterday. What I said isn't me. What I did isn't me. And that is a scary reality. That's a life that I'm scared to live. It looks sad. I know it feels sad. Because people who have lost their identity of who they are visibly stressing, are visibly stressed, visibly in pain. You can see it. Not in their eyes, but in the way they speak, in the way they act, in the way they look. It's all different. And then you ask yourself, what if you've really changed? What if you're not the person that you have always been? Only way you can really find your true identity of who you are is to sit in a quiet room, is to sit in the silence, in the solitude, in isolation, with no noise. And from that point on, you talk to yourself. Not in a weird way, not in a cringe way, not in a corny way. You talk to yourself and ask the questions that need to be asked. Are you yourself? Are you acting in a stage with no audience? Are you acting in real life? Spend at least 30 minutes in the silence, because I know that the life you're living doesn't have any silence. You're consumed by the media. You're consumed by TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. Everything is consuming you. And the time that you don't have your phone is when you're asleep. And from there, you don't know who you are. So look at yourself. Sit in that room and talk. And when you're talking, you're not only talking to yourself, you're talking to God. Because God is out there and listening to see if the questions you're asking are questions that are God-given. Because the answers are found through God. You're not going to find answers out of the blue, out of the air. It's going to be from God. This may be a completely crazy topic, because you may watch this video and think to yourself, what if I've never been myself? Huh? What if you've never been yourself? Then, from that point on, at least you've reflected. At least you know that this isn't who you want to be. From that point on, you'll figure out what you need to become the person you want. To become the person you want, you must destroy the person you are. There are ways to improve. There are habits you can cut out. There are better things to do in a day. Don't forget, you have the ability. You have the mind. Now it's just your turn to finally be in tune with who you are. There's no more hiding. There's no more resisting. Because I know you might be scared to even talk to yourself, to even talk to God, because you think you've sinned too much. You think He won't have mercy upon you. You think He won't forgive you. But He forgives you no matter what. Through every circumstance, through every sin. Call upon His name, because He is within. God is never going to fail you. God always listens, always hears, always sees, and He sees you struggling. And He knows that He can help you, but you need to call upon Him to find who you really are. The people around you may think that they know who you are, may think that you're okay too. But I know you, and you're somebody who only tells people what you want them to know. You hide your real self. You hide your identity. You put on that mask everywhere you go. Even sometimes to your parents. You don't tell them the truth. You don't tell them what you're dealing with. You don't tell them everything that goes through your mind. because they wouldn't understand. In this point in your life, nobody's going to understand you. Nobody's going to understand what's happening in your life. And that's fine. You don't need the support. All you need is God and yourself and your belief and your faith. Because you have the ability. That's all I have today. I hope something made you realize that our lives are not that shallow. And our lives are actually deep. Thank you for listening. So, Tang. Peace out.